This is a reprise of our webinar that was presented earlier today. I forgot to hit the record button, so I get to do this by myself all over again. We're going to talk about our new benefit plan. We're going to talk about the plan structure. We're going to talk about how we came up with the premium, how our health reimbursement arrangement will work, and we're going to talk about any questions you might have. If you have questions, you are welcome to send them to me at jcross@villagemissions.org, and I will reply to you as promptly as I can. So let's get right to it. We're going to talk about our plan structure. The plan is a little more complicated than it has been recently. We have 3 vendors. We have 3 sources of funding. I want you to think of these as 3 buckets. We have our health reimbursement arrangement, which is going to take care of first dollar coverage. We have Christian Healthcare Ministries, which is the largest bucket. And we also have our own Village Missions Employee Benefit Plan pool. We're going to be funding this 3rd bucket to take care of some things that may happen in the future that are exceptional but possible, and we have to anticipate them. So we'll cover that in a moment. The first thing we want to talk about is the health reimbursement arrangement. The health reimbursement arrangement is bucket number 1. It's for routine medical care and prescription copays. You will have a debit card that you'll take with you to the doctor, and you'll use that debit card to pay in cash during the time of your visit. You'll also take that card to the pharmacy where you will use it to make the prescription copay. Our plan, our prescription plan, will still have a copay, and whether it's generic $10 or branded $20 or whatever, that is all that you will pay out of the HRA. The balance of the prescription plan cost is going to come out of the pool. We'll talk about that in a minute. The second bucket, which is the largest bucket, is Christian Healthcare Ministries, and that is for medical incidents exceeding $500. And the third bucket is our VM EBP pool. We have to remember that we are a self-funded plan. We are self-funded by premium dollars that your churches pay, and we're also funded by the mission. This third bucket is only going to be tapped if your HRA and Christian Healthcare Ministries are expended, or if they are the type of expenses that cannot be paid out of those first 2 buckets. It is necessary to have this third bucket as a backstop for ACA compliance. For example, we do have some gaps in coverage. There are things that CHM will not cover that the Affordable Care Act requires be covered, and so we have to make provision for them in this third bucket. I just want to talk about a few examples of gaps in coverage. Gaps in coverage are sort of exceptional circumstances. They're not something that we see every day, but we do have to anticipate them. For example, non-dependent adult children. The ACA requires that we allow adult children to stay on the plan up to age 26. Christian Healthcare Ministries allows for adult children up to age 26, but they've brought the fence in a little bit, and they've limited eligibility. In order to stay on the CHM plan, adult children have to be Christians living by biblical principles, they have to be single, and they must be legal dependents. Now, of course, the ACA doesn't care about any of those things. They're only looking at the age. So we are required to cover those adult children if you desire to keep them on your plan. And what we do is we suggest that the adult child pick up their own Christian Healthcare Ministries coverage, which is very reasonable and very affordable. And then they can also have access to the family's HRA plan for the routine medical expenses. There are also some other gaps in coverage, such as psychological counseling. Psychological counseling is not covered by all insurance. It's limited by others. But within the mission, we want to make sure that our mission areas are properly provided for. So if there's an instance where psychological counseling is needed, and the mission, sometimes the mission will even recommend it, the plan will pay for it. Another area is self-inflicted harm. This doesn't happen often, but there's usually there's usually a mental health issue related to it, and the trustees of the benefit plan do feel very strongly that the missionaries be properly provided for. So if there's an instance of self-inflicted harm that is not covered by CHM, it will come out of this third bucket. The other one is unwed births, something we will hardly ever see in the mission, but it is possible, and if it does happen, it would be funded out of this third bucket. Now let's take a look at our premium structure. The premium structure has 3 tiers, and this is based largely on CHM's use of units. So a single is considered 1 unit, a couple 2 units, a family with children is considered 3 units. Here are the premiums. Everybody's interested in the bottom line, so there it is. $425 for a single, $812 for a couple, $1,100 for a family. And we will take a look at how we built these premiums. The first component is Christian Healthcare Ministries Gold Plan plus Brother's Keeper. And for a single, well, for a unit, the price is $150. So for a couple, it's times 2. For a family, it's times 3. The additional piece there, for example, with singles, there's an additional $12 a month there, $150 plus 12 to come up with our monthly premium. The $12 is for Brother's Keeper, and that's a monthly amount based on the annual rate, which is $40 administrative fee, plus an estimate of $25 per quarter for that large dollar, that high dollar Brother's Keeper unlimited coverage. CHM is going to send a bill to Village Missions quarterly requesting that we pay for Brother's Keeper based on the actual experience in the pool, and the estimate is $25, could be more, could be less, based on the quarter. This is probably a good time just to mention again what a blessing it is for us to be with CHM, because we are in a big pool. When we were self-funded a couple of years ago, we would be really rocked by large claims. Imagine kids playing in the bathtub where there's a lot of splashing going on, and there's big waves, and there's water all over the place. It's because the bathtub is small. It's a small pool. But getting into CHM, we're getting into a bigger pool where there's those big splashes don't have as much impact on the entire pool. So you're spreading a large claim out over 100,000 lives and $100 million of premium a year. And again, it's just a drop in a big pool. It's not a big splash. And that's really a great thing. That's the best thing about being with Christian Healthcare Ministries. The next piece of the premium is our HRA contribution. So we've looked at what expenses we can expect to come out of the HRA, and we've set the HRA contributions accordingly. So we're looking at $200 for a single, $400 for a couple, and $600 for a family. We also have an adjustment for age here. I need to talk about this a little bit. If you take a look at the ages in our plan, you'll notice something kind of interesting. In the singles and couples, the average age of employee and spouse is 57, 58 years old. In the families with kids, it's 47 years old. Now, most insurance plans out there are age-weighted. And what we wanted to do was try to keep the cost of the plan reasonable based on what is out in the marketplace and what people can expect to pay and what is fair based on age. And so we did some age weighting to try and keep things reasonable. The last piece is an administrative fee. And we have administration for the health reimbursement arrangement administrator, for the pharmacy administrator, and for Village Missions. Village Missions is going to be adding quite a bit of work here in the office to administer the plan, more than we have done in the past. And so we have sort of a blended rate for Village Missions in here also. So we've added that $34 a month to each member. So that's the premium structure. Let's take a look at our health reimbursement arrangement. So on the previous slide you saw like a single contribution of $200 a month, couples $400 a month, families $600 a month, and these are the annual amounts. And we need to break these down into a few different pieces. The first is wellness. The Affordable Care Act requires that our plan cover wellness at 100%. So in order to do that, what we're doing is partitioning or setting aside a portion for wellness. So a single would have $600 set aside each year to pay for a wellness exam. That would cover the doctor's visit and any related lab costs. To that we add the personal responsibility amount. When you have a major medical incident, you're going to have to pay the first $500, and we want to be able to provide for that within the HRA. That $500 can come out of the HRA. We also have funds that are available for the first dollar. So a single person has $1,000 a year that they can use for medical and prescriptions. That's money that is going to be loaded onto the HRA debit card, and it is available to be used when you have medical needs. The last piece is what is allocated to the pool. Again, this is where we bear one another's burdens. A good example here is, I know we've got folks who have some ongoing maintenance drugs that they need to buy, and if they had to buy them on their own, they would just blow through their HRA. But what we'd like to do is we'd like to keep the prescriptions affordable. So your cost of prescriptions is just going to be limited to the copay, and the copay is going to come off of the HRA card, and the balance is going to come out of the pool. So we have some funds that are allocated to the pool to share some of those costs. There are some things about the health reimbursement arrangement that I want to emphasize to you. First of all, it is a pooled fund. Health savings accounts are individual, and even though the health reimbursement arrangement has some individual features to it, it is pooled, and it is held by the trust. It's held by Village Missions Employee Benefit Plan. Village Missions Employee Benefit Plan is established to hold funds in trust. The premium dollars that your church pays are held in trust to be used for missionary medical needs. The carryover year to year is going to be dependent upon group experience. We cannot tell you what that amount is right now because it depends entirely upon the group experience. If the group has good experience, then we'll be able to carry over more dollars toward the following year to be used for additional benefits. Big benefit of the HRA is that it does provide first dollar coverage. We know that making this type of a plan work is going to be more work for you, and we want to acknowledge that by giving you the HRA debit card and giving you some money in your pocket to take care of those first dollar expenses. There is a maximum out of pocket, but that comes at the back end. So what we're doing here is we're front loading it. We're giving you that first dollar coverage in the form of an HRA debit card. And again, just to emphasize, the prescription copay comes out of the HRA, and the balance comes from the pool. The out-of-pocket, as I mentioned, is on the back end, and I want to take a look at that briefly just to show you how the plan is structured. This is a high-deductible health insurance plan, and the maximums, the out-of-pocket maximums, are set by the Affordable Care Act. For singles, it's $6,600. For families, it is $13,200. And I do want to emphasize that even though these are big, scary numbers, it is unlikely that you will ever realize out-of-pocket expenses in those amounts. It just is not going to happen, because if you are incurring these kinds of expenses, then you are most likely into some sort of a medical incident that is going to be covered by CHM. So no worries about the maximum out-of-pocket. I also need to talk about dental and vision. We've gotten a lot of questions about dental and vision over the past week or so, and they are not covered by the HRA in 2015. They're also not covered by CHM. I need to go back and revisit the purpose for CHM and just encourage you that CHM is a sharing plan to bear one another's burdens when you have a major incident and you need help in order to avoid financial difficulty. It is not the type of insurance plan that is going to take care of every little thing that comes along. Those days, honestly, those days are gone. You know, health insurance plans like that used to exist, and maybe you can still buy them, but it's not the kind of plan that we're going to have. We're going to have a plan where we have HRAs where we manage our own medical dollars up front. We manage them as well as we can to get the bang for the buck, and then we have CHM to help us when we run into those major incidents. Now, I just wanted to mention why dental plans are not all that they seem oftentimes. Dental plans mostly offer limited benefits. We looked at adding a dental plan to Village Missions a couple of years ago, and what we realized is that the expected benefit of the plan was very close to the actual premium that was paid. That's because the annual maximum benefit was capped. You know, you might pay about $2,000 a year for dental insurance for your family, but your annual maximum benefit was capped at about $2,000. And many procedures, such as root canals and crowns, had elimination periods where you had to be in the plan for maybe a year before you could get a root canal paid for. Of course, that doesn't help you very much when you're hurting right now. Also, sometimes they try to manage the benefits paid out of the plan by establishing high copays. So dental plans are not all that they seem. What I have found is that you can probably do better on your own, and what we are learning is that oftentimes buying a plan on an individual basis is a much better deal than buying it in a group. So my hope is that we will be able to expand the HRA in 2016 based on the experience in 2015. If we have good experience in 2015 and there is excess cash in the pool, we'll be able to roll over the excess portion of the pool and hopefully add dental and vision benefits. So again, that concludes my presentation on the plan structure, the premium structure, and the health reimbursement arrangement. This was a reprise of the presentation given earlier today. If you have questions, again, you are welcome to contact me at jcross@villagemissions.org, and I'd be happy to get back to you right away. So again, thank you for listening, and we will look forward to talking to you again on another webinar.